your starter becomes overly acidic, what will happen is it will start becoming very thin and liquidy. You'll see frothy bubbles on the surface, and it will have issues with the dough that you try to make with it. What happens with an overly acidic starter is the lactic acid bacteria is outpacing the yeast activity. So when you bake your bread, it will look simultaneously underproofed and overproofed, because before the yeast can balloon up inside of the gluten network, the lactic acid bacteria is eating the gluten network. So there's nowhere for that carbon dioxide that the yeast is producing to go. So an acidic starter can create tons of issues with bread. It's so frustrating. I went through this about 8 months ago, which is why I started going down this rabbit hole of feeding ratios. But you can avoid an acidic starter by just maintaining your starter a little bit better and feeding it more often. If you don't want to feed it so often, I hope you reference that video showing the different feeding ratios, which demonstrates that using higher feeding ratios means you have to feed less often, because the yeast doesn't eat through all of the starches in that mixture quite as quickly. I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have any more questions in the comments.